Squanto wasn't just a Native American refugee from the Disney movie Pocahontas jabbering about the colors of the wind. He was a Christian. Apparently, Squanto was just a boy when he met the English for the first time. Spanish monks bought him, taught him Christianity. He somehow ended up in England, earned the respect of an Englishman who paid for his passage back to the New World. In 1619, Squanto finally went home. But by the time he got back, his entire village had been killed by disease. It was Christian Squanto, not Native Americans generally, who taught the Pilgrims how to farm. With Squanto's help, the Pilgrims survived to celebrate the first Thanksgiving in 1621.
Thanksgiving celebrates genocide. Hold up. Before you cancel your turkey order, let's look at the facts. Ben Shapiro's got some spicy takes that might change your mind. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. We're diving into the real story of Squanto. Yeah, that guy from your elementary school plays. His tale's got more plot twists than a Netflix series, and it's gonna make you rethink everything those TikToks are saying.
Thanksgiving is almost upon us, and once again, we'll be treated to the usual dumbed-down version of the Thanksgiving story. White Europeans landed in America fleeing religious persecution, were too dumb to farm, and relied on the wise Native Americans to help them. The Puritans who came to Massachusetts on the Mayflower were not emissaries of religious tolerance. They actually left liberal Holland to push for, quote, the glory of God and advancement of the Christian faith, as it says right in the Mayflower Compact. He was promptly captured and sent back to England for training as a guide. In 1614, he came back to America with John Smith, and then he was kidnapped again by one of Smith's men, sent back to Spain and sold into slavery.
Picture this, a teenager in a judge's robe smacking a gavel made of likes and shares. Welcome to TikTok court, where truth is whatever gets the most views. It's wild, right? Political debates used to be these boring things on TV that nobody watched. Now they're blowing up on social media like crazy. But hold up, these aren't your grandpa's snooze fest on C-SPAN. We're talking viral videos with millions of views. You've got people arguing about socialism while doing dance challenges. There's that one guy who explains tax policy using Minecraft. And don't even get me started on the dude who debates climate change through interpretive yoga.
When he died 1 year later, he asked Bradford to pray for him so that he could, quote, go to the Englishman's God in heaven. Governor William Bradford wrote, quote, the failure of that experiment of communal service, which was tried for several years and by good and honest men, proves the emptiness of the theory of Plato and other ancients. But that wasn't the end of the story either. The Pilgrims had set up a massive obstacle for themselves. Their idea of a religious utopia was a giant commune. And, like all communist experiments, it failed spectacularly.
It's nuts how many people are watching this stuff, like millions more than actual political content. You've got videos of cats playing piano getting more views than presidential debates. What's up with that? So why are we all glued to these train wrecks? It's like we can't look away. You're scrolling through your feed and bam, there's Ben Shapiro destroying some college kid who can barely put a sentence together. And you know it's dumb, but you watch it anyway. Turns out we're hardwired to love a good fight. It's like politics meets WWE, and our brains can't get enough. We get this rush from seeing people argue, even if it's over the dumbest stuff. It's like, oh snap, did he just compare Medicare for all to a ham sandwich? This is gonna be good.
You have claimed that you oppose medical transitioning for these children, namely and specifically to what normally happens is puberty blockers, which you have called, you called it child abuse.
A damaging, irreversible procedure.
Damaging, okay. Ben, are your children circumcised? Did you circumcise your children?
Yes, I have two sons and they're both circumcised.
Why would you do that? Isn't that kind of hypocritical? Why is violating the bodily autonomy of an infant acceptable to you? And I can say, I'm a owner and I can tell you, there's sensitivity right there, Ben, that is removed.
You can be both circumcised and uncircumcised. You're going to have to choose. As far as the efficacy of a once it's circumcised, if you wish to get into the biology, I'm perfectly happy to just point at my 4 children. I've been fruitful and I've multiplied.
And the algorithms know it. They're feeding us more and more of this stuff because we keep clicking. Before you know it, your whole feed is nothing but people yelling at each other about avocado toast or whatever. But hold up, before you dive into the comments section to tell everyone how wrong they are, let's see who's really pulling the strings here. Cause trust me, there's more to this TikTok courtroom drama than meets the eye. And you might be surprised to find out who's really calling the shots. Ever wonder why Ben Shapiro always seems to destroy college freshmen instead of actual expert? It's not a coincidence, folks. There's a whole system at work here, and once you see it, you can't unsee it. Welcome to the world of conservative pundits who've turned outrage into cold, hard cash. These guys aren't just debating for fun, they're building empires on your anger. Ben Shapiro, Charlie Kirk, and their buddies have figured out how to turn owning the libs into a full-time gig. And let me tell you, business is booming. So how do they do it?
So I applied for a job at TJ Maxx a few weeks ago, and they denied my application.
I wonder why.
They didn't even call me. They just sent me some automated email. And, I asked her if it was about my tattoos, obviously, because I know a lot of places don't like tattoos. She said that wasn't the reason. I don't feel like that's true.
Maybe it's not true. People don't do this if they're mentally healthy. I'm just gonna put that out there.
For a second, I thought her arm was missing.
No, she was just tragically burned in a horrible fire.
First off, they're masters of the debate me bro culture. They challenge liberal figures to public debates. But it's not about having a real conversation. It's all about self-promotion. They pick easy targets, usually college kids who aren't prepared for their rapid-fire style. It's like watching a pro boxer take on a toddler and then brag about the win. But here's the kicker. Those viral videos you see, they're edited to make these guys look like debate gods. They cut out any stumbles or weak arguments from their side and only show the moments where their opponents look dumb. It's like a magician's trick, but instead of pulling rabbits out of hats, they're pulling wool over your eyes. And who's watching all this? Turns out it's mostly young white dudes. Shapiro's events are like a sea of khakis and polos. But hey, that's their target audience, and they know exactly how to push their buttons. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but are these guys actually changing anyone's mind? Spoiler alert, not really. They're just preaching to the choir, getting their fans all riled up. But that's the point. It's not about convincing anyone, it's about engagement. See, in the world of social media, anger equals clicks. Clicks equal views, and views equal money. These guys are raking in cash from speaking gigs, merchandise, and ad revenue. Ben Shapiro's even got Young America's Foundation footing the bill for his college tours. Ka-ching! But here's the real kicker. This whole debate culture is making our political landscape more polarized than ever. It's not about understanding each other anymore. It's about winning arguments at any cost. We're all getting played, turning into angry little engagement machines for these puppet masters. So next time you see a video titled Ben Shapiro destroys liberal snowflake, maybe think twice before hitting play. You might just be another pawn in their game. But hey, don't feel too bad if you've fallen for it. Even the pros are getting played in this twisted game of political theater. Alright, let's wrap this up. Next time you see some video claiming one woke teen destroys 20 Trump supporters, maybe don't rush to hit that play button. These videos are like junk food for your brain. Tasty, but not exactly nutritious. Here's the thing, in this crazy online world, you're the real judge. Your critical thinking is the gavel. Don't let some fancy editing or slick talking points fool you. Ask yourself, is this actually changing my mind or just making me angry? And hey, here's a wild idea. Try talking to real people. I know, sounds crazy, right? But trust me, actual conversations beat comment section fights any day. You might even learn something new without anyone getting destroyed. Imagine that.